Welcome everyone, I'm Dan Lutz here on the front lines, all by my lonesome on the front lines, no one here with me, and the bullets are flying, the arrows are coming from behind. Well, we're on a new schedule, apparently. I made this for this time, for the next 10 days or so. Let's see if this timing is going to work out. Tank is to come on somewhere around 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, roughly, half an hour from now, and we're going to be trying this out. So I'm going to start it off here and go along with what is coming my way. And I was there is so much going on, but I had to take some time out. The new project for what I call the new path forward for the Kringle community there. I've been working on that so much. I did a video based upon Nancy Pelosi and what she said, and I'm just, it was off of another Twitter. I'm going to show it to you right now. Go ahead and line that up for you. Switch pages here first. And then I'm going to show you how I edited the file so that it would be a little bit easier. Now this again, to see exactly what she said anyway. So this is from M3 Feds, like methods, looks like. What the hell did she actually just say? Right.
Republicans have said of looking like you're playing games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the impeachment.
What'd you just say?
The next step,
Oops.
Whatever you want to call it, the trial.
What'd you just say, Nancy? Well, good catch on that one. But I went ahead and I did a little bit of an edit. So let me go ahead and show that to you. There we go.
You run the risk, as some Republicans have said, of looking like you're playing games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate and to have the provisions in there to pay for the impeachment.
Oops.
And then the next step, whatever you want to call it, the trial. That is where you put the managers. I was not prepared to put the managers and that bill yet because we don't know the arena that we are in. Frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say. And I don't understand it. I said this is it. I understand.
No,
you run the risk, as some Republicans
Let's repeat
have
that.
said, of looking like you're playing games with impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time in order to send it over to the Senate.
Sorry, remove the pauses and made it louder.
Provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step, whatever you want to call it, the trial.
Pay for the impeachment and the trial.
That is where you put the managers. I was not prepared to put the managers and that bill yet because we don't know the arena that we are in.
Circus
Frankly,
arena.
I don't care what the Republicans say. And I don't understand it. I said this is it. I understand.
That's it for you, Nancy. One more time. By this time, I removed the stutters.
Provisions in there to pay for the impeachment, and then the next step, the trial. is headed for the impeachment, and then the next step, the trial.
Oh, there you go, Nancy. So thanks for admitting to what you're trying to do, which is bribe the senators in the Senate. So I've heard numbers are from $1 to $10 million per bribe, right? And obviously, this is something that they just didn't start. This has been going on for a little while. And if you notice in the little bubble there, she kind of blames the Fed for some glitches. And I don't know if you've caught that, but there were some glitches that the Fed was having a problem sending. Let's see if do I have that still queued up? I had it here. Let me just make sure I still have it. I may have closed that window. Yeah, I did. So I'm not going to be able to show that to you, but maybe there was another page. Yeah, no, can't show it. So it was basically saying that the Federal Reserve was having some glitches, right? And they weren't able to transfer funds. And it seemed there's also a map that was associated with. There's some articles. I'll find it really quick. I'll just do a Google search while we're talking here. Fed glitches. Let's see if I can come up. Yeah, here we go. I can show it here. This is on a glitch at the Federal Reserve delayed deposits and other financial transactions at banks across the Federal Reserve bank services at its automated clearinghouse. Let me see if I'll switch over to there. There we go. Just make this over a little bit. Okay, this is from CNBC. This is only from the 19th, though we're only talking 2 days ago. A glitch in the Federal Reserve delayed direct deposits and other financial transactions at banks across the United States. A Federal Reserve Bank Service said its automated clearinghouse network began experiencing disruption on December 18th at 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. Fed added its statement that technicians have resolved the issue, but apologized to banks. So anyway, so that was just something that was striking. I mean, it's not every day that there's a glitch in the Fed, right? It's actually something that's pretty rare. So I was wondering if that was part of the problem. I was wondering, timing-wise, this is happening just at that point where they're finishing up the impeachment. So they impeach, and then they basically, if they're going to be bribing people in the Senate, they would not want to do it until they actually have paid again. Maybe they paid some congressmen also, or twisted their arms with whatever blackmail material they have on them. Maybe a combination of both. But they would have to finish the voting on the impeachment before they'd go to pay the bribes, right? And then there's a glitch at the Fed. I wonder. So, maybe Trump and maybe Kim had some issues going on there. We'll see as this unfolds, but it doesn't hold well when you can see that Nancy is fumbling over herself. There are some other fumbles we went over yesterday, but I would encourage you to look on the YouTube channel here and take the video that I just uploaded today, which is that upload, and move it out. Put it on your Facebook, please. Put it on your Twitter. Please move this video out. Couple reasons. One, it's a very good message to get out there to show that what she's saying. These are her words. Yes, I removed her stutters, right? and cleared it up. But without is also there. It says everything without, and I removed the pauses the first time. I just kind of tried to narrow it down so everyone can see, hear it better, because she's fumbling in her mind because she misspoke, right? She was thinking about something, about taking it to the Senate, but she had to do it and send the bribes, right? So obviously, she's already stepping on herself because the bribes weren't going through, and she has to make sure that they don't. Now, of course, this is a major event. Are they going to try and bribe them? Yes, they are. So what is going to happen to those people if they start voting against Trump? Obviously, they're out. There's a good number of senators there that are going to be voting based upon they're saving their neck, right? But if this is all politics, right? So there's going to be some horse trading both ways. So what does the Patriots have on their side? Well, maybe not the firing squad or the noose. If you're a traitor, maybe you just go to jail. So it's one of those things. It's interesting to see because there's so much pressure right now, and everything is not going their way. Right, and nothing has been going their way from the beginning since Trump took office, and this is just another sign how poor this impeachment is coming across to everybody, and it's losing ground quickly. I believe the Senate is going to take it up, regardless of whether it was transmitted to the Senate. They're not going to just hang out and wait for maybe November. A curious thing, though, Ted Cruz was giving some sort of interview the day before the vote. That would be Tuesday, and he just happened to mention about transmitting it to the Senate. And he basically, dared Nancy Pelosi not to send it until November. So, was it already known? Right? Could it be that this is also their playbook was already known by the Patriots? I know exactly what they were going to do is that they were going to try and hold up the transmission. So Ted Cruz out there, playing for the varsity team here, he goes ahead and scores and pushes it out there ahead of Nancy. So it's kind of interesting that this was talked about this way. So I think that that the show is going to get good, but I still expect some things to happen Monday, Tuesday, really. It seems that this Christmas period for the Congress or the government in general, where everyone goes home, they seem to keep doing things during that period so that people don't see what they're doing. They slip things through, midnight of Christmas Eve. Now at the time I thought they're just being sly when this has happened over the years, but then come to think that they actually use this date as a symbolic date for them spiritually, not Christian wise, but now and I this Christmas Day 12:01 a.m. PG time I'm launching the new path forward for the Kringle Society, and it is I had to think, and I even spoke with Tank about this and said, Christmas has always been one of my favorite days, and for me it was about giving. I had my route as Santa Claus, and I'd go for my kids for a dozen years. I played the part, got dressed up, delivered the presents, and over the years I gathered quite a route that I had to follow. Right, every year I had another family that wanted me to come for their kids, and I didn't say no to anybody. So whether the cabal had tricked the world into using this date, right, because it's their special date, and in secret they do things, doesn't matter. Really, it's about the energy you're putting into it, not about what other people are doing. So I'm reclaiming Christmas, at least for me and for the people within the Kringle community, and of course, interesting enough that Kris Kringle being our was been known to be the creator of the coin, right? Just like Satoshi Nakamoto was the creator of Bitcoin, kind of an anonymous figure, right? So it's the same kind of idea, but the idea about gifting and bringing abundance is the reason why this Kris Kringle figure was used. But about 2 years ago, the Kris Kringle was let loose. Maybe a year and a half ago. Maybe was it 2 Christmas ago or 1 Christmas ago? I think it was phased out before last Christmas. So, and I didn't think that was quite respectful for the holiday or for the character of Kris Kringle. So, reclaiming Kris Kringle is part of this process too, because it is the spirit of giving, and Santa is not out there gifting out things and then making sure you get something back. Now there was always some cookies and milk, but I don't think that was a requirement. It wasn't like next year I'm going to give you some extra special gifts, I don't think anything along those lines. But there was a naughty and nice list. So there was, I guess, some requirements as to whether you got coal. Well, if you're living in a cold area and it's the way you heat things, coal might not be the worst thing, right? So I think in the beginning, if you receive coal in your stocking, your parents loved that because it meant you kept warm. It turned into like, I didn't get toys. I must have been bad. Oh, you're bad. That's why you got coal in your stockings. But meanwhile, the family stayed warm. So, anyway, those are just some of my thoughts about it. All right, so let's talk about a few other things that are going on. I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, please get that video out there. Oh, the other thing that's part of that is, since I put on the label for WWG1, WGA.love, and I can get some subscribers. People would come to the site, possibly sign up for $1.11 a month, $8.88 a month, $9.99 a year, or one of the other levels of donation that were just one-offs. So that would be really great if this video makes it viral and makes it happen. So it is out there, and that may help bring some extra donations in. So, and as far as donations, my initial donation requirements have been met. Thank you very much for everyone out there. You guys are fantastic, very generous, and I will do my best to make sure that what you've entrusted in my well-being, that I apply it and towards this project and help bring about the abundance-based world that we're in. But these are steps that are necessary, right? We take these steps one at a time. That's how we manifest things in the world and make things happen. We're in that process right now. We're just knocking on the door every which way. I mean, if just imagining I keep going back to the macro, the what's happening with Trump and everything, because it is what's visible, right? It is, what we're trained to watch the show, watch the movie. So seeing what's going on, all of these things that we've been primed for 3 years now, really. Well, 2 years with Q, but really from the beginning, since Trump was running, he said what he was going to do. Wow, he's actually doing it. I mean, this is actually the power of manifesting. Him taking steps and doing what he says. Now, Trump has made a lifetime of doing what he said. Entrepreneurs have this, ability to basically just focus in on what they're creating. And they'll experience the naysayers, and it's one of the things that I notice many times. Oh, you can't do that. All the people, naysayers out there, you can't do that. Oh, do you have permission to do that? That's the other one. Did the government say you could do that? Always find that one the weirdest one. I mean, permission from the government. I just never, ever dawned upon me to get permission from the government to do something I wanted to do. But I hear it all the time. And I'm sure Donald Trump heard it as well. But, Donald Trump, in a lifetime of doing what he says, regardless of the obstacles and the things that were thrown at him, the left turns, the right turns, the loop-de-loops, he kept making his steps forward. So the momentum of his life is about his word and what he's doing. So when he says he's going to drain the swamp and he just keeps taking steps toward it, there is no other result than for the swamp to be drained. So could anyone else have done this? No. This is the time. This is his destiny. It is our joint destiny in that we're part of this reality. I've had some discussions about how I've actually seen my timeline shift. And I never looked at it so much as that way, though I know that it's something like that experience, but I never really looked at it until just recently, that it was literally, I left one timeline and now I'm completely on another one. I mean, I left the one where the Hillary was president and we went down and descended into hell on earth. Literally, just took a turn, and we're here taking steps, building a whole new world, a whole new universe, a whole new way for everyone to experience something that is quite different. We have to think different. Thank you, Thomas Williams. Thinking different is a talent, right? It's something that you can develop. And one of the main tools is not to fear. Whenever you feel fear, whenever you have that something nagging at you, what is that little imp that they put on your shoulder that says, oh, you can't do that, no. Or to do something bad, that kind of, no. You have to go knock them off your shoulder and take your steps to move on to what you're planning on doing. And when you make those steps, and I know, so I'm going to use terminology that please don't take offense to it, because it's just words that I'm trying to come up with a way of communication, right? So, service to self and service to others. I've explored that concept. I've listened, to Thoth, and I went through the tablets and the other the other lines that are thinking along the same lines. So, I brought that up to Tank the other day, and it was kind of like somewhat of a negative reaction to it. But I'm going to use this terminology from a pretty vanilla standpoint, because everyone has to still do things for themselves. Everyone has to eat, drink, mate, have progeny, develop a life. So when I say vanilla version of this, I'm really looking at this is say if you generally want to help others, and you're willing to put yourself out to do that, right? And without expecting a return, meaning a negotiation. You don't do a negotiation. You say, well, if I do this for you, you do that for me. No. Someone needs help, you just step in and do it. If there's something that comes out of that has nothing to do with that energy you put in it to help, meaning that it's not the negotiation. So when we're all doing that, when we're all stepping up to help at that moment, when we're needed, when it comes to us, when it happens, we don't turn away, we engage, and we make something happen. If everybody does it, the whole world lifts. The energy of everything that's going on lifts. So these things that we didn't like in the world, the poverty and the cruelty, any of the other things out there that have been problems in the world, that we say, we wish someone would just take care of that. It gets taken care of because we're doing it. You cannot push it off on a government. Government has no feelings. Doesn't matter what the people in there are saying about how much they feel for the problem. If they're in that position, even if we had really good people at some point, over time it seems that it attracts the people because of the power, the people that are interested in the power, which is more that service to self side. They go there, and so over time it becomes as it has become, and that's why we're pushing back against it now, and we're creating, and in this pushback, that we actually are able to create something that is really going to eliminate poverty. There is no reason at all that we should have anyone without food, clothing, education, health care. And I'm not a fan of redistribution of wealth. It's a bad idea. Anytime it happens, it ends in people dying. And their property is seized along the way. Met with what, we're going to do it, and we're going to use a stick to make it happen. The carrot approach is really the more appropriate way. So I know when I've spoken before about a system that can bring that about, that I'm looking at technology, I'm looking at blockchain, I'm looking at other things that would do that. Looks like Tank has showed up. Hey, Tank.
Okay, I'll call you back this time.
Okay. So this other system that I spoke about is we've used technologies and things of that nature to bring us to where we want to go. We have that ability, right? We have a unique. This is a time for recreating. And recreate is probably the wrong way of saying it. To create a system that is an evolution of things that have been in the past. When we talk about money, the beginning of money Yeah, they trace it back to seashells. Hey, I got some seashells here. Yeah, remember you know those seashells that look like dollars? They call them dollar shells, or what they call them? Like sand dollars. That's what they call them. Here, I got 5 of those. You got a chicken. I'll give you $5 for a chicken.
$5 for a chicken. I will take that all day.
Yeah, there you go. You know, the price might go up. You might need to come up with $10 tomorrow. Who knows? But
yeah, it all depends on how the chicken supply goes. Sure.
Sure, you know, if and how the sand dollar supply is, you know, you got to look for new ones every morning. But yeah, so in the evolution of money, we started there. We get to gold coins, carrying around coins. We get to where they're writing out paper. Then we get to where the corruption takes place, and the gold is leveraged over to a point where they don't have as much gold as they've given out in paper. Right? Then they get rid of the gold, and you just get the paper.
Yeah.
But you know, at this time though, we have accounting systems. We have technology that we could literally develop something completely new that hasn't existed in the past, and is much better at achieving all of the goals that the society wants. That means elimination of hunger and poverty, and having ability for people to buy food and clothing and health care, and it comes from a different perspective. That's why I say we look at the people and the system as existing, that's relying on the people's value as chattel. Well, to evolve past that, I say, is reverse the flow. We basically recognize that value, and whatever people are doing, it deserves, you know, the recognition. I mean, let's say you got a battery over here, and it's playing in one of those little mechanical monkeys that slams the little cymbals together.
Yeah.
Right. And you have another battery, same size battery over here, and it's, you know, in a radio. Which one has more value? You know, they're doing two different things. So the kids may be having a fantastic time with the slamming monkey, and people are listening to the news on the radio. So it's all about perspective. So if we recognize that that's where the value is in the people, and the things that people do must be valued, and then work out of the system that we don't, things that we don't like, we don't need to have. For example, who wants to pay taxes? Raise your hand. I don't see anyone raising their hand, right? No one's raising their hand. Who wants to pay fees to the government?
No one's raising their hand, right?
Yeah, no one. So why do we, since the government has been printing, or supposedly the government's supposed to print all the money, or let's say, well, it's the Federal Reserve, they're printing all the money. Why are they collecting back the money to pay? Why? Oh, interest on that to the private bank, so they have to do that. Otherwise, they could just print the money that was needed.
Well, actually, it's actually a tariff to the crown, really. I mean,
Sure.
Income tax has never made it to anybody, right?
Sure.
Made it to
Yeah. It's just paying the interest, right? It's 100% goes towards paying interest. That's what it evolves to, even if it doesn't start off that way. It evolves to that. You can never pay it back. So, so this system squeezes everyone. Well, why not have a system that actually promotes everyone? You know, promotes them to do things that they want. They don't have to, right? The other thing is no stick. You have to go out there and work. No, people are good. No one can stop me from working or doing the things I want to do.
You know, even on vacation, I mean, I build projects and I paint. Active relaxation.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, going laying by the pool for an hour, I can handle that. But after the hour, you know, I said, okay, what's next?
You know, I never understood how people could go and just lay all day. Yeah, matter reading in the sun, all these things to me are just miserable. I can't. I love the ocean. I mean, I love to be down, but I like to go swimming and play. And, you know, I like to want to, you know, like
and
surf and do stuff.
And Tank, I think you should get paid for going surfing.
Dan, you have my vote right there. You just won my votes. The pro surfing party, I'm in on that. Like,
No, you could, amateur, novice, everyone gets paid. You know, and I know it seems a little odd, but there's a way we could do this, right? Because of technology, right? And the technology that they're putting in place to enslave us can also do the opposite. And we can have AI there that's helpful and not trying to take us over. And all the horror stories of the Terminator series. It's funny. I thought the Terminator series all over, and they come up with another one. You killed the last AI, but the next AI.
Yeah. In the next timeline we created in our alternate universe of hell freezing over. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I do have some Kim updates, man.
Okay, awesome.
So people might have seen the Federal Reserve, right? There was the Federal Reserve, the direct deposits to regular people, right? Now this is exactly what we've been saying. It has to impact regular people, or no one will care, right? So the direct deposits to all these regular people, they didn't go through, all of these branches. You can see it. The whole nation is lit up, right? Well, the reason why is because the Federal Reserve tried to integrate the cryptocurrencies into the blockchain, right? Fraudulently, right? And there's no way to back them, right? No matter what they say, because the assets are in the trust. So the Kim system, working successfully, immediately identified it as fraud and didn't allow the transactions to go through. Now, it is unfortunate that people are left without a paycheck right before Christmas, right? But what is great about it is it shows that everything we've been saying is true. The Kim system is working, and I believe that the other aspects of the Kim system they're either about to be launched or soon to be launched or finishing up, and that would allow the security protocols to go in, and then money can actually move the way it's supposed to, and then we don't have to look over our shoulder every time we do something. We don't have to become live on a commune and become a secret sovereign citizen and all this kind of stuff, right? You can't be a sovereign citizen, right?
A secret. You said a secret sovereign citizen.
Yeah, well, because that's what they do. The guys who want to do the sovereign stuff, they want to be like part of the 3% that have money, while everybody else figures it out, right?
Oh yeah, I know. I know what you mean there. Yeah, I got the black card. Dun dun dun.
Look, it's like we've just been trained to exalt ourselves above each other, right? About money. But it's just money. I mean, at the end of the day, like, what does money mean? You can be born with money. You can just get lucky with an idea. Like, there's lots of people that have been allowed to have money. And the reason why they have money, for the most part, is they weren't seen as a threat to the system. But anybody who had really, groundbreaking technology that would, disruption, they call it, the markets. If you have disruptive technology, they don't let you keep it. Anybody who has disruptive technology, it always gets taken from them, right? Remember the guys who created like Facebook and Twitter and that whole original code, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you've been talking about,
right?
They don't own it. The guys who discovered oil futures. My friend David Hayden, he's the guy who invented, he's the first guy to actually utilize and invent the cloud, and then he also invented voice-over technology, like this kind of stuff, like where you send the voicemail, through text message. He's the one who invented that. And
I think you know what I realized that you had said that before, and it didn't dawn on me until after we spoke. But you bring it up. I actually know someone who was working with him on it. One of the co-inventors of that. Yeah, because there was a group of people working on that. They all went into Skype, and their plan was to build it up and then sell it for $1 billion, and they did. But actually, Nancy Pelosi also agrees that Kim is messing around with the Fed, right? Because she couldn't pay the bribes to the senators. there's a video out there. I don't know if you've seen it yet. That basically
What?
where she's admitting to it. Yeah.
No way! You're kidding? There's a
Right.
video out there
Yeah.
of Nancy Pelosi
Yeah. You want to see it?
admitting. Yes.
All right. Let me go. I'll just go ahead and share.
Wait,
my
I feel like I'm being set up for a joke right now. Am I being set up for a joke?
Well, why would you say that?
I don't know. Sometimes that happens. Like, you know.
Okay. Here you go. Can you
You
see
run
it?
the risk, as some Republicans have said, of looking like you're playing games with
Can you see it?
impeachment if you hold on to these articles for too long.
Right.
I said what I was going to say, Nancy. When we bring the bill, which is, just so you know, there's a bill made in order by the Rules Committee that we can call up at any time, in order to send it over to the Senate and to have a provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step, whatever you want to call it, the trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trial, right? Whatever we're
Okay,
gonna call it, the sham, the scam, the.
And then she says, in her mind, she's saying, Chucky says they all want 10 million now.
That is where you put the money.
Nice.
And it says, why now does the Fed have a glitch?
I was not prepared to put the managers and that bill yet because
How does the master expect me to pay the Senate impeachment?
don't know the arena that we are in. Frankly, I don't.
I bet it was Trump or that bitch Kim that messing with the Fed.
Yeah. That seems about right. That seems about
And I
right.
don't understand it. I said this is it.
Okay, this is it. I don't.
You run the
We're
risk, as some
doomed.
Republicans have said, of looking like you're playing
So
games
I'm
with
I'm
impeachment
repeating
if
it
you hold
now
on to
here in
these
this.
articles
What
for too long.
I did
I
this
said what I was
obviously.
going to say, Nancy.
No,
We
you're right.
we
That's a good point.
have-
She does actually say
When
that,
we
like,
bring the bill,
and the bill will be sent over, right? It's not a
made
true
in
bill.
order by the Rules
right?
Committee that we can call up
Yeah.
at any time. In order
So I
to
removed
send
the
it over to
pauses
the
and made
Senate
it and took out some of the spaces.
provisions in there to pay for the impeachment. And then the next step, whatever you want to call it, the trial.
Pay for the
That
impeachment
is where
and the
you
trial.
put
That's what
the
she says.
Managers.
One more
I was
time.
not prepared to put the managers and that bill yet because
So
we
this
don't
I
know
removed her
the
stuttering
arena that we are in.
in this next round.
Frankly, I don't care what the Republicans say. And I don't understand it. I said
Here,
this is
listen,
it.
it's the last one.
I understand. Provisions in there to pay for the impeachment and then the next step, the trial. To pay for the impeachment and then the next step, the trial.
That's it.
Yeah, that's good, Dan. That was a good idea.
So
yeah, you're right, because that's exactly what she did.
yeah. So I put that out. It's out on my YouTube channel, and I'm asking everyone to go ahead and get this link out and get everyone two reasons. Number one, she's admitting that they're trying to bribe the senators, right?
Yeah.
At least in her head.
Well, but you're right, though, because
Yeah.
it does. It's like you're doing this, you're sending it over, and then they will get the bill, right? Because that's they're admitting that the entire her sole role is as a civil court. In other words, it's just about money, right? It's not about justice. It's not about the enforcement of the law.
Right.
It's just about the money. So hey, you gotta have the money to pay for it. Well, how much is it going to cost? Well, as many senators we have some bribes and win, right?
Right. So she makes this statement on the 18th, right? So she can't bribe the senators until after they voted, right? So Wednesday, when they voted, right, then she can bribe them. Until then, she can't transmit money to them because they haven't done the deed yet, right? And of course, this is also the same time the Fed has the glitches. So I'm just wondering, that's what I was thinking. Were they able to actually send money, or did they get stopped? Because it said that the money was not able to be transferred. The Fed wasn't able to move money.
Yep. No, they definitely could not. I mean, and we knew they couldn't move money. None of them were going to get money. I went on a tweeting rampage the other day, and I was telling everybody, like, put this out. This is real intel. This is really what's happening.
Yeah.
is that they're trying to bribe senators, right? It's amazing when you think about it. Like, that's some pretty high level intel, you know.
Well, see, I didn't even need to talk to you to go ahead and put this together.
I know, it's great, perfect.
Yeah. So I hear the rates are 1 to 10 million a piece is what she's bribing them with, and there wasn't enough time in there. I was going to add a few more comments, bubbles for her, where she was saying stuff like, even the Democrats want to get paid.
Yeah, right. Everybody wants to get paid, right?
Yeah, so
because that's what would happen, right? As soon as we let the cat out of the bag, it's like get it, Thomas dropped it on the show, and then we put it out everywhere. So,
well, that's what I mean. I want to get this video out everywhere. It's a 2-minute video. Put it on your Twitter, put it in your Facebook. Ask other people to spread it around. Let's get the numbers up on it. It's set and ready to go on my YouTube, and it also has the information. Get to the WWG on WGA.love for people to possibly come there and register, and maybe they donate something.
Do that.
Yeah.
Support the cause.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
we are.
I am out of the woods for for this month, so I've made it past the threshold there. So I thanked everyone already, but I thought I'd let you know as well. So
Good.
Things
good.
are
Good. Glad to hear that.
Looking good for the rollout on the new path forward, and I'm anxious to express it more openly after opening this up and letting people know about it. So that's another good thing. So, but yeah, what else is going on? Anything else from Kim? I haven't listened to Thomas either.
Oh, really? No, nothing else right now. She did give me another message, but it's too cryptic to draw conclusions, so I don't want to repeat it. But I would say that things look great, is what I would say. You got to think. It speaks to what I said before, that you have the budget passed right before the impeachment. So you got to think what they always do, right? They make an agreement, then they backpedal on it all the time.
Right.
So what do, right? I really think the agreement was to, take it to the Senate, save the reputation, and accept that you're not going to win. Because she's not giving up an inch. She's not giving, I think Kim was in a good mood today. She was making jokes and when she's in that kind of mood, I know she's about to drop the hammer on something. So my personal feel is that we're about to watch things accelerate for the rest of the year. The next 9 days or so, or 10 days, and this is right now coming up, like either over the next. I'm not sure exactly if it was 21st or 23rd, but it's like when Kim and I first started talking. So it's been 2 years that I've been talking to Kim, working with her, right? And it's no regrets, man. I'm thrilled. I'm glad that we actually are going to.
So it was
have the opportunity.
It was on the. You said it was the 22nd of December.
It's like 20. I can't. She reached out to me, I think, on the 21st, but I didn't get a hold of her. I don't think till 23rd.
So I think it was sometime in I think March of 2017 is when I first started hearing Thomas talk about it for whatever reason, how I came upon the channel, and I started listening to it and noticed hey, they transferred money into the U.S. Treasury, and I checked with someone, and okay, well, that's interesting. I'll take note. I'm already already saying that there's something wrong with this GCR. Probably around the same time that Kim's talking at the end of 2016. I'm already saying there's something wrong here. I've been going to China, already delays, all this stuff. I'm still making more trips to China, but not many. They scaled back at that point, but I still had to go and do wrap up things. But I said, this isn't making any sense. I'm talking with my friends who I'm involved with this and they're busily making contracts. They've got 1,000 contracts for humanitarian projects all buttoned up, and all these assets are all done. And I mean, literally, they did 1,000 contracts plus. They capped it at 1,000, right? They weren't going to do more, and and I know they took in more after that, but just very select ones that they got very choosy. But at the same time, did a lot of work, a lot of effort. But this isn't making sense, right? And that's what I'm telling. I said even the economics of dumping this kind of money on it. I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to say, how does this work? Where, I kind of, got how they were going to wipe out the world debt, balance the books. In other words, balance that debt out. How do you wipe out the previous debt? They had to make the books, gel. But even that, it just didn't. There was no way I saw that this was going to be helpful. At that time, I was talking, that there's going to be massive inflation on products, because I said, yeah, but there's millions of people. I said, there's a million. There's billions of people that don't have them. So now you got the 1% again, except you're probably more like the 0.05% that have all the money. Yeah.
I think that's what a lot of people hold on to is they want to be the elite, and it's like, why would you want to be them? It's like, how can you? For me personally, I do it all the time. Like, how can you be free if everyone around you is enslaved?
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. I mean, it's like waking up, in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, right? Like you were a zombie, and now all of a sudden you're breathing, and your health is returning. And you're walking around and everybody's still eating brains, right?
Yeah.
You go from being like, it's like you might be healthy now, but now all of a sudden you're lunch, right? Like, it's not good.
Yeah, so, not a good situation. Well,
yeah.
Well, that's. It does say that we're moving away from that. I talked about timelines in the beginning of this also. Now I've got that's why I prepared this video. It took me 2 hours to get that 2-minute video together.
Yeah, I know. I do. That's why I appreciate Sid so much. She's like a ninja with that stuff. She just pulls it together in no time.
Yeah. Well, it's like but it's worth getting these things done. And, it also takes my head out of the other stuff that I was doing on the website and stuff. But most of that stuff is done, and now it's more about how I make how I'm going to present this on the 25th in Fiji.
Yeah. That's exciting. Hey, you know what? One other thing, the Speak Project, we are allowed to go live again. So that's a kind of a big deal. I mean, it has locked down without cause for 4 months, and I think that also speaks to. What I think Kim has done is that she's secured the internet. So maybe we can stop being stifled by all this stuff, right? We can start
that will be interesting.
Just being normal. Wouldn't that be amazing if you just were able to conduct business like a normal human being again? I mean, amazing. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. This is a very unusual time, but it's marvelous to be able to do it. I can say going back, that's why I'm so glad that everyone helped me download the videos that I had there. So we have a challenge of how to get them up somewhere. Now, moving them, uploading them is a challenge, because of the speed at which things get uploaded to these sites, because they're overloaded. I spoke with a friend of mine who understands this particular side of the technology on the bandwidth, what you have to have there in regard to your servers, and that you can't do this kind of thing on the cheap, right? You have to already have that space for it, right? You need to have the bandwidth. You need to have all the servers. You need to have everything there to actually make this function, at a speed that everyone is acceptable to, right? When I upload my video to YouTube, and it's taking like 20 minutes, I'm going, why is it taking so long? Yeah.
Right.
but it used to be only 2 minutes, but now it's taking longer to upload. So anyway, this video took this 2-minute video took only less than 5 minutes to upload.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a lot of changes as a lot of the groups who thought they were in control are suddenly waking up to the harsh reality that they are not. So I really, I'm pleased that YouTube finally relented and let us back on to broadcast live. We got banned for no reason whatsoever. So I think that's a good sign that maybe they see that
Well, what about Lawful America? Have you been able to put that back out?
Yep.
So
on Facebook I don't know. I'm not sure about that one yet. I haven't tested it, but yeah, we'll see. That's another one. Like it's because Lawful America is such a it's an action type of website, right? Like there's I've had discussions already with several militia, and we're really trying to organize this base of people, because in Black's law it actually defines the militia as every man, woman, and child, right? And who is an inhabitant of America, and they have a vested interest in their freedom, that they are responsible. That your rights are your responsibility, right? If you want to keep them, you're going to have to fight for them, so to speak, right? Now, that doesn't mean you got to put your kids out to fight, but there's so many ways to fight what's going on but the biggest thing is to just take the time to actually listen and learn, and then apply, right? Listen, learn, and apply what you learn, so that you know your rights. Because the more people that actually declare their rights and they recognize I am the people, right? We are the people, right? Instead of we are the citizens, right? By declaring us citizens, they made us slaves. That's why they can walk all over us, because they don't consider us real people, right? Like you said, chattel.
Yeah, so
they just consider us slaves.
Yeah, and it's just a terminology thing, right? Because someone, who would think that the word citizen meant that you're a slave? No, I belong to this country, right? I'm a citizen of the country. But they don't understand. If they tell you, well, you need to apply to become a slave of this country. How many people volunteer? They say, no, you're going to become a citizen. What's that? Like Rome, they used to have citizens, and they were all part of, and they all had the protection of the Roman Empire. Oh, okay. I guess it's like part of the country, right? So people just kind of go along with it, and it's these guys in the back room that are snickering. We got them. They all think that they're now they're citizens. That they have all these benefits, but really they're just our batteries.
Yeah, they are so shady, right? So the preamble of the Constitution, it reads this way, right? And I think this is really important. It says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union." Now, notice it didn't say the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. So the first thing, it's talking about we, the people of the United States, as in the corporation. That's part of the loopholes that they use to enslave us, right? And in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, right? Now, in reality, it wasn't designed that way to enslave us, but that's how the corporation came in and used it against us, so that they could be rich, so that we could not own land as slaves, right?
Right.
But if you go on into the Constitution, it talks about how we have these unalienable rights, and even if you wanted to sign them away, you can't.
Mm-hmm.
And even though people want to establish that silence is our consent, the Constitution says no. That when it comes to this level, when it comes to your unalienable rights, you cannot be silently consensual to an agreement that you don't even know exists.
Right.
So you have to know that you're not bound, that the IRS is a product of the IMF and controlled by the United Nations. And did you see the executive order President Trump just put out?
No.
President Trump just put out executive order dramatically limiting the funding that will go to the United Nations.
Ah.
So that all by itself really speaks to where we're at, because the United Nations has no jurisdiction. Now, you'd be hard pressed to tell me that you don't have these people like Governor Cuomo and Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. They do the bidding of that, Security Council of the United Nations, of which technically Trump should be a part of, but because there's 6 seats there that are held by the trust, which, and by the way, the trust is not registered anymore as Manna at all. It's no longer Manna. It is, I believe, it is the central bank now, the central bank. And
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Someone just told me something else was the central bank. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, but listen, I am quietly optimistic. I am, actually not quiet. I'm very vocally optimistic, and I really think I can feel the shift in the energy. I think that we are taking the castle. We're taking the hill right now. So.
Yeah, storm the castle.
Yeah, man.
Kidding.
Yeah. And, everybody out there who knows anybody who's wants to restore the republic, please go to lawfulamerica.com and contribute to restore the republic. We have already sent out letters to every board of education in every state. We have also to the department heads at least, and we are continuing to send out via certified mail. Use the post office to notify the militias, to notify every hospital, every medical, State Department of Health, to notify, what else did I miss here? Pretty much anyone that is trying to facilitate vaccines. We are letting them know that if they do this, they are violating people's constitutional rights. This is an act of war against the American people, and they will be held accountable for treason, and that means even the teachers. Everyone will find out and get notice about this. And the grand jury has been called, or has been notified, the foreman, and he's given us certain things to modify, which we did. And they are going to call a grand jury. And you know what? I'm very excited about that, because this is actually how constitutional law works. When the governed stand up and they call out their employees, which is the government that works for them, and says, you are not doing your job, you are in violation of your contract, and therefore you must be terminated. And I'll tell you what, that is coming. That is coming right now.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, I've got one more thing to share right here. I put it up on the screen. So this is a letter to the White House. From the White House to Nancy Pelosi. Let me share it so you can read it too. Okay. So the Honorable Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. This is from December 20th, 2019. So, dear Madam Speaker, frankly, we do much...
Sorry.
Oh, you don't want me to read it? Come on. I should read the whole thing, right?
That is hilarious. Oh my God. They love their symbolism.
Yeah. Yes, they do. All right. So anyway, I'll just go ahead and read it though. So frankly, we do not agree on much, but I will agree with you that the founders of the United States of America did have much foresight in establishing our beautiful country. For that, I promise to present the State of the Union address February, and I keep my promises. You and both houses of Congress shall receive an address on successful state of our economy and our dealings with allies and foes alike, and the biggest threats to our union. I am eager to hear your response after my remarks. Congress will need to work together with me to solve many issues before us. Unnecessary distractions will only serve to undermine what keeps our union a union. Nevertheless, you are free to pursue what you wish. Merry Christmas, and may 2020 be bounteous for all of us. Sincerely, Donald J. Trump. So yes, I thought this was pretty humorous.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, I have no idea if this is real or not.
Well,
But-
that's
but-
exactly what his signature looks like.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if this I just pulled this out of our Telegram group wwg1wga.love.
That's great. That's hilarious. I don't care if it is real. It's just funny.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So it's good to have these little moments of levity. So we can see that there is a. Sorry, just trying to put back the screen. There we go. And you can see that there's a lot of momentum, after this, impeachment on Trump's side, right? And so it's like he says, "I don't feel like I'm being impeached."
Yeah. I feel like I'm kicking ass and taking names, but
Yeah, and he writes letters like this to Nancy.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. There is something to be said. I've talked to people about this. Who had cancer, right? And they'll tell them things like, "Yeah, watch happy movies and all types of stuff, right?" And watch comedies, and laugh, and generally that actually fights the cancer off, right? Just being in a higher vibrational state where you are able to laugh at the calamity of this world that we live in, I think is essential. You have to be able to find the space to be joyful. It really is essential. And in like manner, nurses who actually work at hospitals and such that specialize in cancer, they are actually very likely to get cancer at an alarming rate, like 70%, right? Because they're around death and cancer. They're fighting cancer all the time. And if you're in a constant state of fighting, you don't really get a chance to just appreciate the life that you actually have, right?
Right.
So I would encourage everyone this weekend and every day forward, just make sure you take the time to appreciate the incredible life that you do have and look to make it even more spectacular. Go and don't be afraid to be amazing,
Right. Exactly. Well, that's it. We are having an amazing experience, and I'm appreciative of you and everything that you've been doing, and I'm just happy that we're at this place right now, and it's all time to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
So good.
Dan, I talked to some people from Australia that are going to be partnering with you or working with you at some level down there, in the South Pacific. And the gentleman, Dale, I actually interviewed him before on the show. But Dale was describing that Dale's got this really incredible plan. It's the only plan I've seen in all the things I've observed that I would say has a very similar structure to what we intended to do all along with Create Change. And and so they kind of came into our collective family as well some time ago because of that common mission. But tonight when we were talking, he actually he started describing some in his travels in the South Pacific of this young person coming up with a baby, like a newborn baby, and handing him the baby, I guess, like a cab window, just handing him this baby, right? Because they had no home, and they just found it, right? And so the man Dale, he was holding this baby, and he was asking the cab driver, "What do I do? What do I do with this baby?" And he had to basically give it back over to, I guess what would be the equivalent of like Child Protective Services there, right? Which who knows what they did with it, right? And he started to break down into tears as he described this, right? And he made up his mind then that he would never give back another baby to conditions where they would have to suffer in a life of mediocrity and suppression. And he compared that to humanity. And he said that's why he has dedicated his life to changing the world, right? To going out and rebuilding everything the way it should be, which I think is very much in line with the goals that you and I have and talk about all the time. And he's someone I knew right away in talking to him that he was a right fit. And I got to tell you, those kind of stories inspire me all the time. These things that happen that are so tragic, they should be things that inspire us to do better, not to turn away and not to hide and not to pretend like it's not real, but to actually go out and make a difference. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to spend every day of my life giving people the opportunity to do that. So,
and we are. Yeah, well, I think I was just thinking, when if someone gives you a baby like that, what do you do? I mean, you don't. People think, well, so many different thoughts. There's, do I have the right to now have the baby? Right? I was just given a baby. Who knows where the baby came from? Was it stolen from someone? Right? You don't know. You can't claim it and say, oh, well, I'll just keep it now. But you got to kind of look into it, and say, well, who was it? Now, if you're convinced that, like say the mother gave it to you and expressed, I just had the baby and I can't take care of it, please you take care of it, and, runs away, then can you adopt the baby? Is there a procedure for it? And so, it is something.
Who knows, right?
Yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah, Signori and I, we decided as a company policy, if some of the baby's abandoned and someone gives it to us,
you give it to Lisa.
Like we're keeping it. We'll figure out a way. We'll find a home for it.
Oh, you give it to Lisa.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Lisa will take all babies. Yeah, that's right. All babies go Lisa. All right, man. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for being ready, and I'll
all right, well,
get a minute to figure out how to get on your show actually this time.
You just end. All you have to do is end the meeting, lower right-hand corner of the screen. Unless you're on the phone, then I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, you just end the meeting.
All right, man.
All right. Catch you tomorrow. Well, there we go. Well, Tank has made his first, scheduled appearance. And I got some news about Kim. And we talked about other things. It's kind of hard for us to have a short show. That was, 38 minutes. I guess that's not too bad. We tend to talk for, an hour and a half to 2.5, 3 hours even. I think we hit 4 at some points. There's just sometimes so much to talk about. But at this time, this is the holidays, and so I'm going to try and keep it shorter myself. Still prepping for the soft launch. And why do I call it a soft launch? Because we're really, I'm looking for those people that want to be involved and understand and start learning about what it's all about. And that's when allowing people to come to me and ask instead of I'm not going out and presenting. Other than I'm talking about it obviously here, but I'm not trying to make a broadcast and dedicate to that yet. That will come. Right now, I'm just looking for those people that are really interested to get involved. And then I have a Telegram group. I move everyone in there. There's a Zoom registration in there for the broadcast. Well, it's actually a meeting. It's a broadcast. And this is really about just getting those people situated into this and have an understanding. I may have to tweak things for understanding, right, to create the language so people understand this a bit better. But that's coming very soon. Anyway, I guess this is good for today, and maybe we'll catch Nancy on another admission. So we'll be back tomorrow again. Come to www.g1wga.love and go ahead and register. You can join for free, or you can join for $1.11 a month, $8.88 a month, $99.99 a year, or there's some various other one-time fees for if you would like to donate a bigger amount to everything that's we're doing here. It's all much appreciated, and we want to grow this. I have a lot of plans for this particular channel for it to become more of a media center. So need more content, need content contributors, need people that want to be in the blogs, in the forums, and build up the site. So if you're interested in that, just go ahead and contact me. Everything is in Telegram. My Telegram link is down below in the video. I mean, look in the description underneath the video, you'll find it there. I'm Dan Lutz, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.